Texas Tech big man Federico Federico is in the transfer portal, one of the best names in all of sports. He started his career at Pitt, 6'11" senior. He averaged 5-5 last year on a Texas Tech team that was loaded. I think he's a capable player, could definitely be more productive than that. But when you're in a front court that is headlined by one of the best bigs, if not the best big in the country, and JT Toppin, I think you're gonna get dinged a little bit alongside him. There's some big name schools that want Federico. Auburn, Indiana, Ole Miss, Virginia, NC State, Texas A&M, USC, Utah, and Wisconsin have all reached out to Federico Federico. Wisconsin feels like the clown in the meme of like, how did you get here in this line? Doesn't feel like a Wisconsin big to me, but maybe Greg Gard is evolving. Who knows? What do you make of Federico Federico in general? And then let's talk through his list.
So, in my opinion, I actually think that he is a solid backup center option. I thought that, he was able to provide some good minutes. I remember specifically in that, who was it the game where they came back in the tournament? Was it against Arkansas?
Yeah, they had the big
Yeah.
comeback against Arkansas,
Yeah,
correct?
he actually had some good minutes in that game in the second half where I thought he was doing a lot of things on the offensive glass and just bringing energy. I think he is a really good backup center option. I think on a good team, he's a backup center like he was on Texas Tech. So this is a little interesting to me. I will say this, like you said, he doesn't strike you as a Wisconsin big.
No, he doesn't.
Like, so I understand that, but would we assume that um Nolan Winters their starting center?
I'd have to look further into that, but I guess so. Yeah.
Where I'm going with that is I don't think Federico Federico would be the worst backup center option.
Or, I mean, they played Winter with Crowell at times. Do you want to keep Winter playing alongside another big?
Let's move away from that,
Okay.
please.
All right. All right. So then we don't want this at Wisconsin?
No, I kind of do. I want him as the backup center. That's what I'm calling. I think he'd be a great backup center for Wisconsin.
Well, okay. I feel like adding Federico would only mean more Nolan Winter at the four. So if you want to move away from that, I wouldn't
I
understand
guess so.
the strategy.
I guess Greg Gard is our coach here. The only thing that scares me about this list is that some of these stops he would be the best big option.
You
He
can see
probably goes to Utah, starts. USC doesn't even recruit center, so he probably could start there.
he would,
Um,
yeah. I think he'd
yeah,
probably start at Indiana. I think a lot of these, I think this list is full of teams that want him to start at center,
that's
except
crazy.
Auburn and maybe Ole Miss.
Which, if I'm Auburn, like, yeah, good energy, 6'11". They had Cardwell as a center on their team last year. He was like an energy guy. I think Federico Federico can be that type of guy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I wouldn't hate that. So Federico Federico, let me count this up real quick.
Also, also the guy that averaged 5 and 5.
Do a little math here. One, two, three, four, five. Federico Federico has appeared in 68 games in his last two seasons of college basketball. How many of those 68 games did he score 10 or more points? We interrupt this sleepers video to tell you about an offer from Underdog Fantasy. Cart, you love Underdog Fantasy, correct?
Of course I do. Can I have a moment real quick?
Please. Thank you for that. In fact, I'm going to cut you off because our listeners like when we keep these short and sweet. Underdog Fantasy. Sign up as a new user. Use promo code SLEEPERS. Get bonus funds up to $1,000, 50% of your deposit match. The NBA playoffs are rocking right now. I played Underdog last week with a Cade Cunningham line. I'm looking forward to doing it throughout the entire first round of the NBA playoffs, but there's more. You can place picks on golf. You can place picks on baseball. You can place picks on the NHL playoffs that are rocking right now. Join Underdog Fantasy, promo code SLEEPERS. Support this show so that we can keep bringing videos to you. Back to the video.
4.
Five.
Oh,
Five. So 63 of his last 68 appearances, he's not scored 10 points in a game. Uh, he's a backup big. Good one. Okay. He can do some good things. Yeah. He had 9 rebounds against Arkansas in that overtime game, as you mentioned, in 13 minutes. But Cart, nobody wants to play him. Nobody wants to play him big minutes because he's Federico Federico.
Yeah, he's a back. He's a backup big.
He's a good backup big. He's I would argue this guy may be the Merez Johnson of Madi Sissoko's.
I can say that one more time.
He's the Merez Johnson of Madi Sissoko's.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so like, okay, fine, backup big. But as you mentioned, there's a lot of schools on this list that want him as a starter. I think he's going to end up committing somewhere to be a starter. And I don't think he'll be all that good in a starter role. We saw him as a starter, by the way, at the end of 2024 when he was still at Pitt. He started basically the whole season. There was a little gap that he didn't. But he was playing like 30 minutes a night a lot of these games. Still never scored in double figures. Just like a bunch of games with like 7 points and 8 rebounds. Like,
Yeah. What school did
okay.
he start at?
Started at Pitt.
That that's very evident on. Yeah,
You can take the Federico out of the pit, but you can't take the pit out of Federico.
yeah,
Yeah.
somewhat.
Yeah, sort of feels that way. If this is his list, where should he go? I got one name that I do think he should go.
I'm gonna say Auburn.
Okay, hold on though. Even if that's where we think it would like work out situationally the best, if you were advising him as a client, wouldn't you tell him to go somewhere to be a starter?
Texas A&M.
I mean, or unless you want Auburn to like win a national title and you think that's coming, then
Yeah,
maybe.
I'm good on that.
Buckyball? Him and Mackenzie Mbako?
I could see it working. A
I mean,
lot of money.
Buckyball inflates some numbers, but he
A
can't
lot of
go
money.
anywhere after this, so I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, good amount of money.
I think he should go to Indiana.
Indiana.
Indiana's other center target right now is a Division III kid. Actually, excuse me, community college kid.
Mm.
I think he should go to Indiana. I think he'd be the best big. I actually like what Indiana's assembled at the guard and wing spots. Like they got a pretty good team outside of the center spot right now, right?
They do need one.
He'd probably play 30 minutes a night, starting at the five, just rebound a bunch, play off Tucker DeVries, Lamar Wilkerson, Connerway. I don't know. I think that's the best mix of opportunity mixed with money. We know Indiana has money mixed with maybe this team could actually be okay.
Yeah, I kind of like that fit.
If he ends up in Indiana, I think as a rival Big Ten fan, I feel pretty good about playing Indiana if they're going to start him at the five. But to me, he's the best big they're after right now, as far as I know.
I'd look at USC if I'm him too.
You'd have a lot of opportunity there too.
A lot of opportunity.
Would you rather be in Bloomington or Los Angeles?
Los Angeles.
The Tin's pretty special though.
I think I need to re-up on my 10 membership.
Yeah, I feel like you really didn't have as good of a time in the Tin as I did, I don't think.
10 was good. 10 was good.
It's not hard to hold it against you though, because like you were focused on Michigan State, Purdue the next day. You had a trip to Mackey Arena and you were getting in front of that.
And it hurt.
Yeah.
Hurt bad.
Well, if we do go back to the 10, maybe we could sink the biz again. Uh, which honestly might be what Federico ends up doing if he ends up at Indiana.
I hate you so much.
Probably sink their business.
I literally hate you with all my heart.